Hello, everyone. This is Esther Nyonjo once again, and welcome to Kenya Explained. And today, being Sunday, 29th of March 2022, there's been a lot going on with the Independent Electoral Boundaries Commission, where they've been having the clearing and registration of candidates. And out of her time, Madam Jane Wasilwa has taken some part of her time to be here to educate us more about what is in the voting and the whole thing about the Independent and Electoral Boundaries Commission. So I hope you enjoy your viewing, and to introduce herself.
Thank you, thank you. My name is Jane Wasilwa. I'm the returning officer currently of Mavoko constituency in Machakos County. And maybe just to say something a bit, returning officers, we are called the foot soldiers of IEBC. We are the people that actually do conduct the elections. We are the ones that within the constituency, we conduct the elections. The ground is the constituency, and that is where we are. We conduct the elections. We are the ones who do boundaries. We are the ones who do voter education, and many other things that IEBC is about.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're the main people in the IEBC process, the returning officers.
Yes, we are the ones who do the elections,
okay.
And we are. We normally say we mutate based on the part of the election cycle. We have what we call the election cycle, which is our election takes 5 years, and it goes like that, then goes back again like that. So we mutate also. At one point, in fact, about 2 weeks ago, we were registration officers. So when we are registration officers, we register people, we do the register, we ensure we update the register, and that is the work we do often.
Okay.
Then, as we approach the elections, we are now gazetted, and we are returning officers. We are still RO, they call us RO,
ROs,
but
yes.
at times we are registration, then at times we are returning officers. Then when there are boundaries to be done, again we are in charge within that given constituency.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you so much for that. And so, would you mind to explain to us about what is happening right now at this time, where you are clearing and registering candidates? Can you tell us about the process and what is entailing for us to understand? Because I'm sure most of us are not understanding what's happening.
Now, what happens is before an election occurs, we have candidate registration. Some time back, it used to be called nomination, but currently the nominations are done by parties. So the parties will select their candidates, and those candidates will come and present themselves before us, and we register them. And what we do is we vet them through the system, the legal systems. By the way, that is something else I should tell you, that IEBC, we are sticklers to the law. We carry out all our activities based on the law. So we will take them through, is this person registered as a voter? Is he a Kenyan? Just what you need to do to run office. So we check that. That is what we are doing now. Then we'll get their pictures, we'll get maybe their symbol, and we'll upload them into the system, register them in preparation for the ballot printing for the election. So that is what we are doing now. And at this level, I'm doing for the members of National Assembly and the county assemblies.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that is what I'm going to do for the next 10 days.
All right.
Today's day one, yeah.
All right. So we expect that at the end of this exercise, we'll have a list of candidates who will be cleared and those who will not be cleared.
Yes, yes.
What does it take for candidates to be cleared, and what does it take for candidates to be disqualified from the list that is going to the system?
Now, maybe one thing I will tell you, that if the person, if a candidate presents themselves, there are things they should meet. They should be registered voters first. If the candidate is not a registered voter and becomes an aspirant, they don't qualify to be registered. And that is one, they should be of sound mind, they should be Kenyan citizens. Of course, that also means that is why you are registered. And then, in the event that they fail to meet one of those, they will be disqualified. If they have dual citizenship, they will be disqualified. Like currently, we have we've been also talking about like the independent candidates, that we have a list of supporters they must bring. And if they fail to have that list, like the MNA or Member of National Assembly, that's how we call them.
Okay.
A Member of National Assembly should have 1,000. If he has 999, they cannot qualify. They have to have 1,000. And if it is MCA, they should have 500 for this level. But of course, we have other levels. You heard about the presidential independent candidates. They also need to have 2,000 supporters from the majority
and
counties.
their identity cards.
And their,
And
the identity cards. Even now I'm having files because today I've done 2.
And so they also have to bring it in a format, in the expected
in a given format, so that when I put it in the system just picks up the names and checks are those people registered voters. And once they are, it moves me to the next level. So I check again, I clear them for something else until the end.
Okay.
So when they comply now, they are marked as registered.
And if they're not compliant, they're out of the register.
They are out of the race.
Okay.
Like MNA, we are going to be here for today. We have been here, tomorrow, and on Tuesday. After that, it's sealed. We now go to the MCA. We'll now not go back to MNA again, unless something else. Maybe like in the event that someone is aggrieved, they can go to what we call the dispute resolution committee, which is domiciled at IEBC by the commissioners. They present their case before the commissioners. In case they feel the RO has not taken good care of their grievances, then they can go and they will be listened to. And then the commissioners, if they feel the person should be registered, they will advise the RO to do so.
Okay.
If the person still doesn't feel happy with the commission, they can go to court.
Okay.
And we have had cases sometimes, not here, but Uko, where of course we do benchmarking with colleagues, where the courts have ordered that they be registered because of this and that. And we just do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
You want her to pick?
Yeah, it's on there.
Oh, it's on the mic.
Okay. Yes.
And can you touch something on what we are getting right now on the media about candidates who have cases in court, pending SS in court with the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission?
Yes.
What about their clearances?
Like when they come, one thing that we do, the ethics and the ESCC, there is a form that candidates fill that they bring to us, which is stamped by a lawyer, and then the ESCC stamp to say that the information they give us is right. And that is one of the forms we require, because we have a candidate registration form, then we have statutory declaration saying that, then we have code of conduct you sign, and the ESCC. Once they come from the ESCC with that, we just register them. Now, another thing maybe you should need to know, Esther, is that there are people that may be in court, and I know as IEBC, they only touch someone that has exhausted all ways of appeal. If the person had a case, even if they were jailed, they went there in the court of appeal. For us, we still treat them as not, the thing is not conclusive, because that is the law. So naona hata nje wanatembea tu. So we cannot, we don't look at them as, or we don't read in the newspaper, tunasikia, najua huyu alifanya, and then we pick it up and we run with it. No, nice. We only, like I told you, we are sticklers to the law.
To the law.
Most of the time, whenever we go for training, we are told, law, Sharia, you must follow, and they train us a lot. every time, like this time we are doing candidate registration, we are taken through a process of what the law says about this, so you have to stick to it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I hope that's good information to also my viewers. I hope you now know that someone's personal issue, if once he has been cleared by the EACC, to you, he's a potential candidate.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you so
Unless,
much.
of course, he fails to have supporters. Yeah. Unless he fails to have the other things.
Okay.
So we are not a court of law. We don't.
You're not a court of law.
Yeah.
You're a commission that
Yeah.
is specified to do this and this. So if someone presents to you as that, I am free from this, you take it and go with it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Well, moving on. Well, there is the voting process.
Yes.
That I might have some viewers who are first-time voters. Maybe they just got the IDs recently.
Yes.
There are people who maybe are voting for the first time.
Yes.
So can you explain to us about this whole process about voting from the time voting I know starts at 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. So from to 5 p.m. So from the time I get to the voting station and to the latter, you can give us some insights about this?
Thank you. Now, maybe for the voters, for the people listening to us, first thing you must know is that all you need to go and vote is your ID card. Your ID card. You have registered as a voter, just have your ID card. Or let me put it, the document you used to register, because some people do with passport.
Yes.
It's ID or passport. So if you registered with the ID, go with your ID card. If you registered with the passport, go with the passport. Then once you get there, you'll get into what we call a polling station, and a polling station is manned by a presiding officer. It is a room, and currently our polling station, they just have a maximum of 700 in the very populated places. Once you get there, you'll be required you'll go through a process, a small process of vetting. We'll check your fingers, your nails to see if you have been marked, or your hands to see if you have been marked to indicate voting, because we normally mark the small left finger, the nail, with indelible ink, which lasts for about 6 months until the nail grows out. But in case you have put things like these ones of mine, then they will mark here. Yeah, in case you have, maybe you are assisting somebody, because at times we allow, if the voter is not educated and they want someone to assist them through the process, maybe your old grandmother, she can't read or something, then we'll mark the voter assistant so that they don't come to vote, they don't come and assist 10 people, because they can easily influence the vote. So once you come, we'll check. When we find you don't have, we'll go on to ask for your ID card, and when your ID card is found, we put the information into what we call our our voter identification. What is it? Our voter identification. Let me just say, I can't remember it. It's a new one. It's coming. Okay. It's coming. But it's called View. Sometimes I've called it so much that way that I have lost the real. Okay. But there is a gadget. It's a tablet that carries in the information of that. It's our electronic register that is on a tablet. They will input your information and check if your name comes up, or it brings up, it will prompt you to put your fingerprint. So once you place your fingerprint for reading, if you belong to that station, it will just move you, it will quickly push you forward, and you are input into the system. You are moved to the next level, where we check in our register, our manual register, and then once they find your name, they mark it. But remember, you have been passed through the view, first of all. Then you go here, we'll mark it out, they'll cross out your name, and then now you go on to pick the ballot papers. You'll be given the 6, and you are required to cast the 6 and to place into the ballots, you don't live with any one of them. So we require you to put all the 6. And you cannot say, I've come for president. No, we want you to take all of them. Why? So that we don't have any fraud where we think one ballot mtu alichukua moja na ingine imewekwa imepitia kwa mtu mwingine. So you have to have all the 6 and go through, put them in there. Now most of the time people may reach there and feel like hii nitaiweka wapi? The presiding officer has a deputy. They will always be there to guide you, tell you put this here. And then we have also, our ballot papers are also color-coded like our ballot boxes, so that you know white is for the presidential ballot box, green is for the member of National Assembly, beige is for MCA, blue is for the governor, yellow is the senator, and purple, pink is for the woman. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So then they will go, but at the end of it, you'll be given the ballot, you go to the booth, you mark them in secret, because it's secret ballot. There are those people sometimes who may need assistance. Those are the ones sometimes who may, like if you come with somebody, you'll go with the person that will, before they go with you, they will have to take an oath of secrecy with the presiding officer. They sign a form to say that whatever I see, I'll not go to say.
In the same day?
Just that. It's a short process.
Okay.
Then they move to the ballot and then they vote. And then they mark the ballots and the voter comes and drops. This one just assists them to. They drop, the finger is marked, and off you go. That is the end of it. Now, in the event that a voter has no assistant and requires the PO to assist, it becomes automatic. Now the agents have to come in. So it will not be the PO alone marking for you the ballot. The agents must also be part of the witness what is going on, what you say, and what is marked. Then as you go and drop your ballot, and go.
Okay.
Yeah, so that is it.
That is the whole process.
Yeah, that is the
and then
whole
you
process.
go back home.
You go back home and you wait.
You wait.
In fact, you have to leave the place and go home. We normally have the 400 meters radius. We expect you to leave
immediately.
and go and wait for the results from there. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
That is well explained.
Yes.
And then after the results, I am now home. So the work is left up to you.
Yes.
So what's next after the results?
Yeah, after the voting.
After the voting.
Yeah. After the voting, we'll finish. Now, before, something I forgot to tell you, before we even commence for voting, we have those ballot boxes that we seal. We seal with seals, and we have a record. We keep taking records. So after the voting, we will close the upper part. It's called the aperture, so that nothing else goes in. And then we will break and turn the voting room into a counting room. The voting room is arranged differently with ballots at the center. But after that, we put tables at the center, we put clerks on this side, we put security in places to watch agents to be in given places. So then we turn it into a counting room. And then one by one, we pick the ballot boxes and we break the seals. We don't throw them, we keep them. We keep them and we seal them, putting them in an envelope. After we have counted, we'll keep them. In the event that it goes to court, you have evidence. These are the seals we broke when after the counting. So we then count. We go to each ballot box one by one. We begin with presidential ballot because unajua, yeah. So the law has instructed we begin there. Then we move to member of National Assembly. Then we move to the MCAs. After that, we move to the senatorial, I think, then the woman rep, and we end with the governor. We go through them one by one as we fill forms. Each one of them is given a code. Like presidential is 34. Maybe you have heard about 34. At the
34B.
polling station, it's 34A.
Okay.
So that is the result form. They will count, will count. And you know how we count? We don't count like money. No. We count, you lay them, you pour them in the open. And once you pour them in the open, you sort them. The presiding officer will check at the back, because before you are given the ballot, we normally stamp it so that nobody comes from outside with anything. They have the IEBC stamp. We check, does it have the IEBC stamp? Yes. Then we turn them, and now we keep, maybe this is John, this is Mary, this is Peter. John, Mary, Peter. You assign some clerks, and then you now sort them in those bundles. And then we start reading, we start counting each one with our form. But when we count, we'll begin like you are Esther, I'm Jen. Then I can imagine someone else. Maybe I should have begun with Billy. So Billy will automatically be at the top of the ballot, followed by Esther, because of the alphabet, in case these are their last names, the way they appear. Okay. So we start counting with Billy. We don't get tempted by the amount of ballots. Say, let me begin with the many. No, you begin with the Billy, you count Billy's, then you go to Esther, then you go to Jen. Then after you've done that, each one, like the presidential, you fill this information in Form 34. There is a way in which we fill it. Then after you've done that, we scan that form. And that form is the one we send online. It goes to the public portal. It goes to the constituency. It comes to the constituency. This is the presiding officer. Form 34 what? A. Yeah. And then it goes also to Nairobi, to Bomas, as provisional results. Those are not results, they're provisional. After that, the form, the presiding officer will put some into the ballot, one inside the ballot box, with anything else that had to do with that election. Remaining ballots, seals broken, whatever, we put them there and we seal the box. With the agents writing, the agents of each candidate should be there. They write, we have put this seal, and they take the information. Then we put a copy of the form on the door of that polling station. If there is no door, you put wherever you can put, but we put that. Then after that, we give each of the agents a form, but the original form, that form that we fill is carbonated, 6. So the original form, we pack it, and the presiding officer carries it to the tallying center, the constituency. It goes to the returning officer. The returning officer, using that form, comes up with Form B, collects that information, puts in Form 34B. Then 34B will put all the polling stations as they come, of each candidate as they come. Then we collect, and then after that, we carry that form, Form 34B. Form 34B is carried and brought to Bomas. So once it gets to Bomas, it is from there that Bomas, they will now have Form 34C. They collect again all the constituencies, the 290. Then they will tally, and we'll have results, and a certificate called Form 34D is written and given to the winner, for the winner. Now, I'm saying that very intentionally so that you understand, and the viewers understand, that our results move with the hard copy. Even if it is sent from the constituency, it will not send from the polling station. It is only going there so that when I arrive with the form, they'll see it the same form. It is not in any way the one that will determine who will be the winner. That is how our results move. Hard copy. We vote, we do manual voting, and even our results. But when it comes to identifying our voters, we do it electronically. Okay. Yeah, I don't know if I've made any sense. And you know, I've told you about Form 34. The same happens Form 35 is for the member of National Assembly, only that this one will not go to Nairobi. It will come to the constituency, we'll do Form B, and then we will tally and we'll get the winner. The returning officer will declare the winner and do a certificate for them and for the MCAs. The governor will do Form B, but will send them to the county for the county returning officer to tally and get the winner.
Okay.
But the president will take them to Nairobi. The form, the hard copy form. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
That is extensive and thorough. Yes. So after all that, we would like to know about the structure of IEBC and the staff, because we hear of people like a presiding officer, a returning officer, a polling clerk. What do these people do, and where do we find them?
Now, this is our structure. At the top of IEBC, we have what is called the commission. That is the IEBC. Then the IEBC, we have commissioners. Then we have what is called the secretariat. The secretariat, which comprises of the employees of IEBC. And the employees of IEBC are headed by the CEO. That's the CEO is the head of the secretariat. Under the CEO, we have two DCSs, we call them Deputy Secretary of the Commission, because the CEO is the secretary to the Commission. Then under them, we have one for operations and one for support. Under them, we have directorates. We have 9 directorates. And then under the directorates, we have a number of managers. But what is important is we have the 47 county managers. Then under these 47 county managers, we have constituency returning officers. And like I told you earlier, it is there where elections take place. That's the constituency. The constituency returning officers, they're the ones that conduct the elections, and they tally, they collect some, like the presidential, the governor, the senate, the woman rep, they collect, they just collect the information. We put it, but it's just collected. We don't total and that kind of thing. We collect and then we move it to the next level. But for the member of National Assembly, we collect, we tally, and we announce and declare the winner. And for the MCAs, we do the same. Then the returning officer cannot do that alone. Now I reached where the returning officer is because mostly at that level, it's our permanent staff. Up to that level is our permanent staff and the deputy returning officer. But below that, the returning officer is mandated to hire, train, and deploy presiding officers, voter educators. We have
observers.
Yeah, not observers. Observers come from out. They're not part of IEBC. And the media, they come from out.
Okay.
Yeah. Then voter educators. We have warehouse. You know, we work with a lot of materials. That is the work of the returning officer. They hire the staff, but that staff that is at the base, we normally hire them is temporary staff. Yeah,
on contractual basis.
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah.
So a presiding officer, a clerk, is under the returning officer.
Yes.
And this is someone who is hired on the temporary basis.
Yes, the clerk.
Okay.
And even the presiding officers.
All right.
We also have the sets, we call them select election trainers. They are also hired on temporary basis. We also have the voter educators, but they are Kenyans, and they are normally a very big number. But we take them through thorough training. So as we go to elections, they are as good as any other officer. And even the security, we also get involved with the security for the purposes of security, election security. And when the security is working with us, they are election officers. Yeah, whatever we do, they go with the way we do it. Yes.
Yes. And maybe to get into a little bit of something that has been happening in the political aspect is that for example, there's a party that claims that the government or the officials should not be like the Minister of ICT or the Minister of Security should not publicly say their stance. And the Minister of ICT says that he gave some comments that said, oh, we are going to look after the votes. So with that in your system, can you clarify to us about the independence about those words and...
Now, Esther, I have told you something. I have told you one thing that I've tried to explain to you our processes. And from what I've told you, I don't think you see minister anywhere. You see them anywhere. So at times people are allowed to talk. But this is my personal opinion. This is my personal opinion, is that we live in a society where we would expect everyone to have their own opinion about, because we especially when it comes to matters election, it is everyone's right, they are Kenyans, it is in the Bill of Rights for everyone to, so I wouldn't, I would excuse people to talk from that point of view, that they are allowed because their Bill of Rights. But for me, even me, that bill also works for me. But I would be careful to say anything because I know I hold this office.
You hold the office.
And it can be taken badly. So I wouldn't say anything that maybe I feel is my right, so I can just say, because sometimes it may be taken badly. But what I know is that from the way I've explained to you how we do our things,
it has been thorough.
It is thorough, and I've told you that our processes are very clear, and it is not possible for anyone to infiltrate. The way we guard the votes, we do that with the integrity, transparency, and just being, following the rule of law. And then the police are also with us in case someone wants to grab the votes from us. They are there to protect. That is what I know. When we talk about kulinda kura, that's what I know. Anything else, I would not comment very confidently about.
I understand.
Yeah.
And there was something about that we should have talked about with the voting process. What is considered as a spoiled vote?
Now, the spoiled vote is a vote that is not even cast. It's never put in the ballot. For example, you come to vote, I give you your 6, you go and somehow, when you are marking the presidential ballot, you do it erroneously, not in a way you want it. You can go back to the presiding officer and say, this ballot, nimeharibu. Then what the presiding officer will do, they will stamp that ballot as spoiled. And they will attach it and give you a new ballot. Then you go. So there is no spoiled vote. There are spoiled ballots.
Spoiled ballots.
However, there is another one I know that you're asking about. We call it a rejected ballot. When it is cast, but where it is put is maybe you know one of the things that you're not supposed to do. I can tell you this so that I can explain what can make us reject a ballot. Maybe you went there and decided to write Esther Nyonje as you are voting for whoever, so that when the agent sees, they can know Esther voted for whoever. That one, when we see a name, that one we reject it. Secondly, you marked for everybody. That one we reject. Thirdly, you've not marked. That one we reject. Or fourthly, you made something there that can make you be, the intention is not clear. Your intention is not clear. You go to mark and you mark, unaingiza, unapita mashimo. You have not said anything. Then we say that one is rejected. We reject it. And those are the reasons. When we reject, we have a form we fill to say why. But when those that are rejected, we call them ballots. We still don't call them votes. Even if you had put it inside, we only call it a vote when it can be read for somebody. Then we say this one voted for Esther. But if it has not been voted for anybody, then it's not a vote. We just call them rejected ballots. Yeah, and then the spoiled ballots don't even enter the box. Those ones are out. They are just out. In fact, the voter is the one who says, nimefanya makosa, naweza nipatia ingine. Then they are given another one. That is spoiled ballot. The rejected ballot goes into the ballot box, but it is wrongly handled, probably not marked, probably it has no IEBC stamp, and that can happen. Probably it has no IEBC stamp, therefore we mark it as rejected because we don't know where it has come from. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so I've heard of cases where people will say that if this is the name and the photo of the candidate.
Yes.
So a rejected ballot can also be one that someone puts a tick on this one and then goes ahead to cross out.
That is a rejected one. So once you mark for more than one person, whatever mark you put, even if you put a dot for more than one person, we look at it like it is the intention is not clear. That's what I was talking about. Okay. And that at times we have heard of people, politicians who want to cause mayhem. They say, if you don't like me, give me wrong. And then the person you like, give them tick.
Give them tick.
Yeah, so then that one is
rejected.
It's rejected.
So the right way is to either put what other symbols.
The right symbols that we use is either a tick or a cross. Yeah, a tick within the box. Okay. Within the box you've been given, and most of the time we have sample ballot papers in the polling stations. As you get into the polling station, you find a sample ballot paper. You look at it, and then now you go and vote. Okay. Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
So as we come to a close, I would like us to, in your capacity, you can give a message to my viewers, to the electorate, when we come into this election period.
Now, what I would tell them is, please prepare to go and vote. And like I told you, you need your ID. So guard your ID at this time. If you lose your ID, you will not be able to vote. Your identification document. So guard it. And come out and vote. During this campaign period, which has begun today, please do the campaigns peacefully. Don't be used to cause trouble. It is not like I was telling some people today that after 9th of August, you'll still need your neighbor. Utahitaji kuomba chumvi kwa jirani. So let us not, the politics should not divide us. It should unite us. And I tell people, especially the voters, that this is your time to decide who will be governing you. You want to give someone authority. It is your time to decide well. If tomorrow that person is in power, you should not complain, so you make a good decision. And it is also your time, if you don't like someone, maybe the way they govern or the way they behave, you feel they are not good, it is your time to decide. This is your time. And it is important for you to note that the vote has the same strength. The vote in Bungoma, in my village, Tuti in Bungoma, has the same strength as the vote in Runda, Nairobi. It has the same strength as the vote in Mavoko. The same strength. It is one vote per person. And each one of them has the same voice. It is our time to speak up, and it's our time to make our voices heard through the voting. There are people who claim that they are not interested in voting. You know, me, I've been voting, and these people, they don't do anything. I like reading this poem by one man called Bertolt Brecht. Bertolt Brecht is a German, and he says the worst illiterate is the political illiterate. He doesn't hear, doesn't speak, nor participate in political events. He doesn't know that the cost of life, the price of beans, of fish, of flour, of rent, of shoes, of medicine, and all depends on our political decision. The political illiterate is so stupid that he is proud and swells his chest saying, I hate politics. The imbecile doesn't know that from his political ignorance is born the prostitute, the abandoned child, the worst thieves of all, the bad politician, corrupted and flunky of the national and multinational companies. Politics is everything for us. And your vote is the one that gives them power. So go and vote and let your vote speak. Thank you.
Well said.
Yeah.
And so, Madam, finally, there could be someone who has not yet registered as a voter at this point, and maybe wants to be registered as a voter at this point. What is the right step for them to take?
We operate within timelines. As we speak, they're time bad. The next time we carry out registration is next year in March. We close the register, I think from May 5th, it was gazetted and that the collection of data registration had ended. Then we are cleaning the register in readiness for gazettement, which has to be done 60 days or before election. So which is just 9th of this month. So currently they are out of their time bad. Wangoje till the register will be opened again for registration next year in March.
And then they can be registered by then.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Dear viewers, I hope you've heard the message. The message is peace, and if you have already registered as a voter, turn out as a voter and go let your voice be heard.
Yes.
Thank you so much for watching this YouTube channel. And remember to subscribe, share, and comment. Let us have this discussion. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Until next time, bye-bye.